finally on my last row. I'm putting these Keaton seed firmer brackets on. It's not a difficult thing to do. Only problem is you have to take the hopper off, the gauge wheels off, openers off, pull the seed tube, undo the row clutch, the drive, the vac meter, and the seed hose. This is my 32nd row on this planter, and previously did the 24 row as well. Again, not difficult, just very time consuming. You multiply it by 32. Also, you see this is a new planter. The closing wheels are not on the back section. That section actually raises up, folds up, and they take those off when it was being transported here on a truck from a height standpoint. And to clarify Chase's statement from the previous video, this is not a MaxEmerge 5E. It says right there, Chase, MaxEmerge 5. So this is not electric drive, it's just the straight, I believe they're still calling that the Pro drive. It's got hydraulic drive and uses these shafts to drive the meters. This is strictly a beam planter, so we don't really need the electric drive, individual row downforce, all those things we have in the corn planter. Beam's a little more forgiving. Doesn't quite take as much to get them in the ground and get a good stand. Anyway, glad to almost be done. Well, what do farmers do when it's too wet to be in the field? Apparently everybody decides to haul corn. If I'm counting right, there's about 12 in front of me. So not gonna be a real fast process again today. It was about not quite this bad yesterday, but pretty close. We'll call this day one, still planting action. We actually planted a little bit there before we had all the rain about 10 days ago, but planted 25 acres, so that really hardly counts. Planting right here next to Palmyra. Pretty good field. Got the 1775 electric drive. We do have a liquid system on it now for the Pivot Bio product, which I'm actually not putting on in this field, but we will be probably next day or two. We're in the 8R370. I'm not sure what my opinion is on this tractor yet. Got a few things I don't like about it for sure. A few things I like about it a lot. We'll give her a few more days and see what I think. We are cruising along here about 6.5 miles an hour. Still looks like over 98% singulation, so that's pretty good. This field worked down pretty smooth. Not every field's like this one, unfortunately. We get quite a bit done doing this kind of speed.
As you can tell by our surroundings, we are not in Hannibal, Missouri. That's right, we are in good old Columbia, Missouri, home of Mizzou. The reason that I am not home on this Friday is that I'm helping with the state Ag Mech contest for FFA tomorrow morning, and I had to help set up all day today. And yes, I am walking in the rain. I had to walk out here to the Hearn Center. If you know Mizzou's campus at all, you'll know that that's a long ways away from the dorms where I live. I came out here to get my car and move it closer to the dorms so that when I leave tomorrow, I don't have to walk a half mile. Sounds reasonable, right? The birds are everywhere. It is now the next morning and it's about 7:30. I'm gonna go work this contest here for 5-6 hours. Then I'm going home. This here's a John Deere 6175R, driven by the resident Californian, as an IVT that he doesn't particularly like. Given it's only a 6R series, it's really a big tractor. It's got a heck of a loader on it too. Yours truly found a John Deere key for the John Deere tractor, and now we're gonna drive it. Today's contest went pretty well, but we got a little bit more cleanup to do and then I can go home. I just had to give this whole new tractor thing a try. It's pretty slick. With this IVT transmission, you can control how fast you move using this little dial right here. Honestly, this thing's pretty slick. However, the transmission will trip you up just a little bit if you're used to an 8R type IVT. It's got 175 horsepower and a heck of a loader. We also had a little baby John Deere 318G skid steer here for the contest. It's raining in about 3 different places down here in Missouri. I've been in and out of the rain about 3 or 4 different times already, and I'm not even halfway home yet. And just like that, we go from rain and dark skies to sun. I know that every time I go past this red junkyard, I'm pretty close to home. So the main goal for this weekend is to get the oil changed in this 4320. I got the oil in the filter, 5-gallon bucket, and all the necessary tools to get this little plug out. I hope I don't lose the plug in the bucket. Got it. I really hope that it stops running out so fast because this bucket's about full. I can safely say that after an injection pump and an oil change, this thing is a completely different tractor. I cranked on it for a maximum of 1 second versus before 10, 20, 30 seconds on the starter, and it still would maybe start. This thing rocks now. I'm gonna turn it off and I'm gonna take that truck and I'm going to church. March 8th bean update. They are now up in rows. You can actually see them. That's kind of cool. And as you can see, there's a lot of water out here, so we're not going to be doing any field work this video. And for being a farmer, I really don't do a lot of field work right now. It happens. Provided these beans actually live to maturity, I may be able to plant one of my 2 6-acre fields next year to beans in early March, just to see how they do. And now we get to work on this some more. Shout out to Mom for getting me Mimis. Hello, babies. This is your videoly update of the kitty cats. I have no idea how old they are, but they are very fluffy and very cute. It's now the next day, and Dad and I are gonna go to Woodland, which is it's like a pothole kind of / railroad place. We're gonna go there and check and see how wet it is. Without looking too hard, we can tell for sure that it is too wet. Well, we decided to come and check out this other farm. Nice big river bottom. What are we thinking, Dad?
Well, it's less wet than with them.
Yes it is. See, that last place we were at, you could stomp on the ground and water would come up. But here, it's just it's still kind of heavy, but it's at least not sopping wet. The cows here ran up to the road thinking we were coming to feed them. Bad news, fellas. That's not the case.
I wonder how you get that apart.
My mother told me that some of the grass out here that I mow is starting to get a little tall. I think I might be mowing for 2 hours before I go back to college at 5 o'clock or whatever. We're also dealing with some scattered showers. There's one over there and this one right here. The grass here is just barely tall enough to make me want to come and mow it, but it's not that tall. I haven't gotten rained out quite yet, but I thought I've been close a couple times. Grandpa does not like to have grass on the sidewalk, so I'm gonna sweep the sidewalk off. We're about finished, but I feel raindrops. You can probably see them on my glasses, but it's about to rain. All we have to do is make it a half mile down the highway to the house. Well, I did make it back home, and now it's actually raining, so I'm glad that I did not mow the second yard. I didn't video this, but our guy Rob and I took this brake housing or whatever this thing is off of the 4320. We found out why the brakes were stuck. It would be because all the pistons had about 1/1000th of an inch of rust around all of them. So I ground it off with an emery cloth, and now it actually moves. And there's about a couple ounces worth of crud that was in the boot that goes around the piston. And Rob should be able to replace that sometime this week. And I will be back here on Friday, provided nothing comes up down in Columbia. All I have to do now is fuel up my car with gas, and I'm gonna be on my way back to Columbia again for the umpteenth week in a row. Quick update of our spring progress for 2021. We have 250-ish acres of corn in the ground, and it's apparently supposed to snow on Tuesday, which will be the day after this video is released, so but the 20th of April, 420. We're hoping to have some better weather here this weekend, and we might actually be able to get some video of me working in the field. 4320 update. Right now, the brakes are off of it because they were sticking because all the pistons were covered with rust. And I did clean it up, and hopefully that'll be back on it sometime pretty early this week. Not a whole lot has changed with that thing other than it runs a lot better now with a fresh change of oil and a fresh injection pump. Believe it or not, that will make a difference. Of course, I can't leave without saying goodbye to the Doge. My 730 diesel with the transmission issues is hopefully going to be going to the repair shop this weekend. Hopefully it'll be back in time to actually plant some beans with my 6-row planter. With all this said, this is the end of the video. I appreciate everybody watching, and a cool subscriber statistic. I have about as many subscribers as there are people in my hometown, which is about 3,500. So that's kind of neat. Never thought I'd get that far. But thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. On my way back to Columbia, I'm right here north of Centralia, and this ground here is noticeably more dry than it is at home. Okay, now it's actually the end of the video.